finally gets around to it. Let's meet tonight's panel. We've got Fox Nation host and Federalist contributor Britt McHenry is here, along with Democrat strategist and former advisor to both the DNC and Hillary Clinton's failing campaign, Antoine C. Wright.
Oh, Canada.
And National Taxpayers Union senior fellow and Center for Free Economy board member Mattie Duppler. Welcome, one and all. Antoine, I will start with you because this whole thing is crazy, and I'm still convinced that this whole Kellyanne, George, DT triangle is a grift.
I'm not married, nor am I dating. So, but what I do know is if someone was attacking my spouse, it would be some real problems, and they would nicely be suggested, not required, but suggest that we have some real household discussions and probably talk about future employment. Look, I do think that there's some coordination going on, probably some collusion.
We should probably make sure that Bob Mueller doesn't wrap everything up, because he's clearly got to get to this. I'm sure there's some collusion going on, but it speaks more to kind of where we are in this country. If that was Barack Hussein Obama having this discussion with anyone on his staff, the world would implode or explode. But here we are. You have Trump supporters actually doing toe touches and high fives about this back and forth. And for Kellyanne Conway, I think she's preparing for life after Trump, because we all know that life after Trump will be different. After Trump, you know, if you look at other people who've left the administration on good terms, you know, I think of Nikki Haley sitting down with the president, having an exchange with the press and saying, I support him, I'm moving on. I'm sure the president would be just as gracious here. But it's interesting because I thought Maria Bartiromo did such a great job, because she really got her to open up and say things like, I was raised in a household of strong Italian Catholic women who taught me you air grievances like that in private. So it's very surprising to see it be so public.
Listen, Kennedy, I was raised in a strong Catholic household, and we were taught the opposite. We aired it all out in public, right? Everyone knew our business. But here's the thing, Antoine, I agree with you that this indicates where we are as a country, because where we are as a country is the president knows he can control the news cycle with whatever he tweets. And he knows that if he tweets something outlandish, this will consume the conversation for the remainder of the week. What's Washington talking about? That Mueller might release his report this week. The president knows this. He's going to distract from it, and he's successfully done so.
So you think that's what he's doing when he's talking about SNL, John McCain, George Conway. It's just...
That's what everyone's talking about now.
Well, the John McCain is like its own
distracting chief.
And we'll talk about that a little later in the show.
But I disagree with you. I think when you said Trump supporters are all into this, I looked at it as no one's really phased. Like, it's one of many distraction methods. It's not the only one. But Kellyanne Conway and her husband, this isn't the first time.
Are they
she said,
along though?
he's a private
are they
person.
working together, Bonnie?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, this is an administration that has sent off a few into the entertainment and reality TV world. I mean, this could set you up for a book. I don't know if that's their end game, but this isn't the first time that it's happened. And I just want to know her definition of private.
See,
because
I think that she's like, okay, George, you do this, and I'm going to come out and support the president. And the president loves loyalty, and I will look like the most loyal person in the world. And then I can leave, make a bunch of money. People will feel bad for me, and we'll all live happily ever after.
But when we're having conversations about honesty and transparency, if your playbook is true, then that's not very honest and transparent from this administration. It's very reflective of the leader.
The president knows about it.
But she's saying, and the marriage doesn't have to be transparent. She's like, that's my business, but it's very odd that they're making their business public, but then saying this is our private business.
It's very odd that she talks about her husband that way.
Yeah.
Versus
the whole, I mean, what do they talk about when they get home?
Like, hey, she has to manage two men that like to tweet too much.
Yeah, and they're tweeting at each other, but it also makes me think there's something else going on.
No one's envious of Kellyanne.
Collusion. You heard it first right here on Kennedy.
I think there are some sizzling loins somewhere, and I'm not sure who they belong to. That's okay. The panel returns a little bit later. Speaking of loins, Roger Stone and Julian